Hi everyone, this is Nightmare, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Alliance War defense, particularly when it comes to placing characters. Now, we've all played Alliance War and saw a team that places things horribly. We can't figure out what's going on. I mean, it's very easy. A team that should be killing you, you kill instead. And on the other hand, you've seen teams that theoretically shouldn't be that good, but because of placement become far harder and even impossible to beat. That's the difference between a good team and a bad team, is how they place. Now, one thing that you have to realize is only 50 of the 55 nodes are even used. 5 nodes will always be free no matter what. So that means that the first decision you have to make is where you're going to leave the free nodes. Now, one thing people do, which they shouldn't do, is they'll clump them. Let's say on the upper left hand side or the lower right hand side. That generally is a bad idea, and here's why. Let's say someone leaves, let's say 14, 21, 30, 38, 37 free, or something of that nature. All you're doing is I'll see that, and I'll put someone on that line node who's decent, so they have a relatively free shot at the mini boss here. And for every mini boss you get down, the easier it is to beat the main boss. So that's in general a very bad idea, and you shouldn't be doing it. Now, what should you do instead? Well, one thing I saw that I was thinking about for a while, and then I saw a team do it, is to not place on node 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And here's why. The fact of the matter is, you're not stopping anybody on those nodes. In fact, you're probably not even slowing anybody down, and a good player may not even take any damage there. The only way you're going to do any damage to anyone on those nodes is if you use someone who has a very high PI, and that in general is a waste. Since you could put someone with a very high PI in a better place that will do more damage, and that may stop someone. So that's the best idea in my eyes. One other possibility, if you don't want to do that, is if, let's say, there are nodes you don't have anybody appropriate for. Like, let's say you have all nothing node, and you don't have anybody really good with a good third special. You can leave those free. Just make sure you don't leave them all on the same line, that you spread it out a bit. I mean, you can do all nothing nodes, enhanced special nodes, whatever you think is best. Now, the most important thing when you play is the boss node. And why is the boss node important? Because frankly, if someone beats the boss node, they get lots and lots of points. And unless you beat their boss as well, the amount of exploration probably is not going to make a big difference. You need over 30% difference in exploration, and really probably more than that even. And the fact of the matter is that's very hard to do, so you want to play someone really good on that node. Now, who's good? Well, someone very popular, especially at the lower maps, is Ultron. But what makes Ultron good is his regeneration, namely his regeneration that takes place at 50 and 25%. Now, most people don't know how to handle that, especially newer players or less experienced players. And what they'll do is they'll attack, he'll hit his regeneration, and he'll get almost everything back because someone doesn't know how to handle it. I mean, there are other videos on how to handle Ultron, but right now that's not really particularly important, at least for this video. So, what else can you do? Well, there's Magic, who's very good, highly awakened Magic. Let me be very clear on this. Everybody I'm talking about is awakened right now. But Magic in particular, highly awakened Magic, has something called Limbo. Now, when she hits Limbo, the other player will take damage while she's doing that. Now, it's possible for Magic to kill her opponent without even having to hit them because Limbo can be so effective. So Magic is always a good choice. World War II Cap is pretty popular because of his perfect block. The Juggernauts, which are unstoppable Colossus and the regular Juggernaut, are also pretty good choices because they have very strong armor. And most people don't know how to handle it after they do a special and they attack. So that's also a good choice. Now, the final player I'm going to name doesn't really need to be awakened. And in fact, it's probably worth better not being awakened. And that's Nightcrawler. Now, Nightcrawler's evade is what makes him so great in defense. I mean, anybody who's ever played him knows his evade will drive you nuts. And you're not going to get much damage on him. But here's a catch. If it's possible for him to switch modes from Naifim mode, which I think is being pronounced right, to swashbuckling mode. Now, when he's in swashbuckling mode, he stops evading everything, which makes him a much easier target, much easier to attack and destroy. Now, the fact of the matter is, when he's awakened, he can change modes much quicker. So that's not what you want. You don't want him to switch modes. So the best thing to do is have an unawakened one. Even awakened he's good, but unawakened he's far better in this case. So that's why I recommend with that. Now the mini boss nodes. Now the mini boss nodes. Who's good in that case? I mean, which are the mini boss nodes? They're 52, 49, and 53. And what makes those nodes so good? The fact of the matter is, there are 3 links. If you look, there are 3 links to the boss node. And if you don't get rid of those links, it's pretty hard to beat the boss. In some cases, maybe impossible to beat the boss. So you need to get rid of those 3 links. The opponent needs to get rid of those 3 links. So who should you put on those nodes? Well, anybody named on the boss node is a good choice. All those characters are good for stopping, but they should be very high PI versions of them. Let's be very clear on this. Now, there's one other character I consider very good there, and some people may agree, some people may disagree, but I know it's worked so far. And that's putting Electro there. Now, yes, he's a glass cannon. I wouldn't put him on boss node, but the fact of the matter is, by the time they get to, let's say, 49, they've taken damage. Sometimes they've taken a lot of damage. They may have 3 characters that are almost dead. And that won't work if you fight Electro. A few hits with a few times hitting Electro and you're dead. And you can't just regenerate and at 350 health and survive. You have to regenerate and use a lot of healing. Now, some players won't even agree to do that. Other players will do it, but they'll lose a lot. They won't be particularly effective against the boss. So that's always a good choice. I've gotten as many as 7 kills with just an Electro there. And I can usually get 3 kills easily without a problem against a good team. So that's why I recommend for the mini boss nodes. Now, there's other important nodes in the game. There's, take this off. There's just trying to look at the numbers. There's 25, 33, and 40. And there's also, on the other hand, 12 and 43, which I'm looking for here, 43. Now, why are those nodes important? Well, first of all, there's only one person usually able to attack those nodes. There's 3 nodes on one line, 1 node on another line, and 1 node on the third version, 43. And if you don't stop those lines, if you stop someone at those lines, all those nodes won't be cleared. I mean, no one really wants to attack a link node. They may do if they have to, but they don't really want to. So what a lot of teams will do is they'll put a second player on that node if the first person doesn't succeed. And every time someone doesn't take a line, that's less points they can get and a better shot for you. So that's why I recommend. I mean, use whoever's good there. I mean, look at what the link says. Let's say 43. 1 second. 43 will show enhanced special 2. So put someone really good with enhanced special 2. I'll go more into it later. Someone who's good with Plague Mind. Someone good with Mystic Ward. That's one example. Someone high PI should be put there. Because you really can stop players at that point. And if you stop players at that point, you could stop a team at that point, which is great. Now, let's get into armor nodes, because there's three types of armor nodes. There's regular armor, there's the armor nodes that have armor break, and armor nodes that have armor up. Now let's get into the regular armor nodes first. Now armor node, let me get one here. Sorry, look in here. I mean, let's look at an armor node. I'm just trying to find one here. Sorry, it's always hard to look at these. Yeah, here's an armor node. Now, this armor node has 45%. And the armor nodes are at 7, 8, 14, 34, 41, and 44. Those are the regular armor nodes. Now, who do you put there? Anybody obviously with armor. I mean, that's a duh, but anybody with good armor. I mean, you can put Colossus there, either the Juggernauts, Hulkbuster, any of the 3 Irons, which are Iron Man, Superior Iron Man, and Iron Patriot. Not saying all those are good characters in general, but those are characters you would want to put in that place. You also have Ultron, Civil Warrior, and a few others. Now, any of those are good, and as a rule of thumb, there's three types of armor nodes in that situation. There's armor nodes that have 20% armor, 45% armor, and 66% armor. Now you want to put your higher PI characters on the higher types of nodes. I mean, putting a 4000, let's say Juggernaut, on a 66% node is going to drive the other team crazy, and they will lose a lot of health, and possibly lose a lot of players who try to go through that. So just keep that in mind. Now, there's also the armor and armor break nodes, which are at 18 and 33. Here's an example of one right here, which is also a good place to stop teams. Now, who do you place there? Well, the players that actually have armor and armor break are, well, Hulkbuster, any of the Irons I named before, and there's a few other characters here and there that may have it, especially with newer characters. I don't have all of them listed, but that's an idea for you could put there. Now, if you don't have enough armored characters, you could put anybody who has armor break there. I mean, Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man, Iron Fist, there's a whole list of them that you could put there. And those are definitely good to be put there if you can't find an armor character put there. Now, there's also one armor and armor up node. That's number 10 right here. And who do you put there? Almost all the armored characters have both. I mean, you have the Hulkbuster, the Irons, the Jugs, the Colossus, Ultron, Civil Warrior, and a bunch of others. But if you can't put anybody there, some other options are Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, War Machine if you want to use him. Those can all be placed there. Sorry about that. I just need to get this down a little bit. Now, going after that, you have the enhanced special bias nodes. Now, the special one enhanced special and special bias nodes are at 14, 15, 25, and 35. Now, who's good there? Well, Yellow Jacket is great there. Cyclops, War Machine. I mean, anybody with a long-range hit, the Iron Man, the Ultron. I mean, any of those are good. But I need to explain something. If you look on an enhanced node, like let's say, trying to find one good one here. You will see. Sorry, not good here. You will see it cannot be blocked. Now, let me explain what unblockable really means in this case. It means the first hit cannot be blocked, not that the whole special cannot be blocked. So let's say with a War Machine, or in bed with the Yellow Jacket, his beam will be the first hit, and therefore that part is unblockable. Now, let's say you have someone like Hulkbuster. I mean, not Hulkbuster, like Joe Fixit. Now, his headbutt will be the first move, so his bullets are fully blockable. So you don't want that. You want someone whose long range shot is unblockable. So keep that in mind. Now, there's also one enhanced special number 2 node. I showed you that before. And anybody with a long range hit for enhanced 2 is good. I mean, the Iron Man, Superior Iron Man. There's a few others that have the first hit as being a beam or bullets. Use those. Now, you also have all or nothing nodes. Now, who do you play? Now, those are at 16, 30. Sorry, let me look at 16, 30, and 47. Let's look at one of them now. Now, who can you place there? Well, there's one character who is a great offensive character, but I don't know a nice way of saying it. Sorry, but Storm sucks at defense in general. Any experienced player will just look at the point where she starts rising and know that they have to evade. So the best place to put her is on Special 3, since she does a very powerful Special 3, and she also stuns on Special 3. So that's where you want to place her. Now, Thor is also a good choice to place someone there because he does a lot of damage on his third special too. Now, there's a few others that have good third specials. You can use any of them, but that's who you want to place there. Now, you also have bleed nodes. Now, those are at 6 and 17. But as I said before, you don't want to use 6. Because, as I said before, that's not a great node, just leave it free. But there's also, as I said, there's also one at 17. And who do you want to place there? Basically anybody with a really good bleed, especially stacked bleeds, like either Wolverine NX-23, the original Black Panther, Gwenpool is a good choice. There's a bunch of other stacked bleeds. Any of those are really good, because you want to take advantage of that. You could just, I mean, someone who can be bled will be destroyed by that, pretty much. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, you also have crit rate and crit damage nodes. Now, there's only one that has both, and that's at, where was it here? 32. Right here. Now, who do you want to put there? The Spider-Man, Iron Fist. Anybody who has a really, really good crit rate attack and can do lots of damage. Those three I just named can do lots of damage there, so they're all good choices. Now, most of the rest are just crit rate. They don't have any other crit damage ones. And those are at 35, 48, 50, and 51. And who do you want to place there? Anybody who has good crit, who uses a crit rate for powers. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. You can add the Wolverines from the list I named before and a bunch of others. I mean, they're all good choices. Anybody who I said whose crit rate really improves the character heavily. Scarlet Witch is another good example. All those are good for those nodes. Now, finally, there's also Enhanced Fury nodes. Those are at 7, 17, and 24. And let me find one. Sorry, my mistakes. Yeah. Here's an example one. Now, Enhanced Fury to me is as important as some of the other ones, so I wouldn't use that as my first decision maker. I mean, for example, here's Enhanced Bleed. I mean, you could use someone who has Enhanced Bleed and Enhanced Fury, but Drax is okay. But in general, you probably want to pay attention to Enhanced Bleed first. That's where your damage will be in this. So I don't really count those as much. I said they're 7, 17, 24. You have to make a decision on that. But in general, I would go, let's say, with Armor over Enhanced Fury. I would go with Bleed instead of Enhanced Fury. If you can get both, great, but that's not as urgent. Now, that's pretty much it for this video. I pretty much covered a lot about how to place. There's a whole bunch of other stranger nodes like Connect, Reactor. I'll try to talk about that in another video. But otherwise, this is Nightmare, logging off.